Hey everybody, how's everybody doing tonight?
Good evening.
Doing really good? All right, that's better than bad, as I always say. I'm just going to talk to you guys about something that I once was really passionate about and still am, and just wanted to bring it up. But first, like everybody else tonight, I'm going to start with prayer. So let's bow our heads. Lord God, just thank you for today. Just thank you for all that you do and all that you are. God, I just pray that you would be with all of us in this room tonight, especially me, as I'm going to be reading your word and speaking out of my heart, and hopefully a word of life and something that would be useful and we would be able to take out in the world, and that we would be able to use and share. Lord God, I just pray that we would have a sense of urgency when we do this. God, just give me a peace and calm my nerves and help me get at it. Thank you, God, for all that you do. In your son's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, I need a couple volunteers. Dr. Joe,
Hey, I get the volunteer.
Miracle, and Jacob.
You come up.
Uh-oh. All right. So we got our football here. We're going to actually pretend it is a potato right after you get them out of the oven at Thanksgiving. Come on, a little bit closer. Get in a circle. Let's get in a circle here. I'm going to face the camera so I'm not rude. So this is a really, really hot potato. It's going to burn your hands if you keep it in your hand. I need somebody to count to 10. Okay, everybody count to 10 1,000s, all right? From 1 to 10, all right? Starting now.
1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000, 7 1,000, 8 1,000, 9 1,000, 10 1,000.
Oh man! Wow! All right, thanks everybody. Thanks, Dr. Joe. Thanks, Jason. Good hands. That was. Does anybody else have breath?
Yeah.
Any of you guys? It's just kind of weary. And, you know, we had the potato and we had the urgency to get it out of our hand because we didn't know what it was going to do. Is it going to explode? Is it going to burn our hand? We had this urgency, this sense of urgency that we had to move the potato or the blue and white football, the foam football, out of our hands because we didn't know what Jesse had in store next. That is. It's a sense of urgency. We had this sense of urgency when we were playing hot potato. We did this often whenever we were kids. What other games do we play that you had to have a sense of urgency?
Red Rover.
Red Rover. You kind of had to have a sense of urgency. There's one I'm thinking of. Duck, duck, goose. There you go. Good job. Good job, Tom. Yeah, you had to have a sense of urgency. Towards duck, duck, goose, because you had to get up. You had to get up after someone yelled goose and tapped on your head. And you had to go run after the other person. You had to do it fast, and you had to have the sense of urgency. One more example. So I have a chocolate bar here. All right. You want the chocolate bar? Do you want the chocolate? No. You want the chocolate bar? No. No. You want the chocolate? No. No one's going to be able to get it, right? Almost. It's chocolate. This is a chocolate bar. You know, you have to have a sense of urgency. You have to be ready and to get it. So this is what I'm going to talk to you about tonight, is our sense of urgency. And we're going to go ahead and turn to the passage in Matthew 9, in verses 35 through 38. Matthew 9, 35 through 38. Everybody say amen when you get there.
Amen.
I got 1, amen. 2, 3,
Amen.
4, 5. All right. I'm going to wait for 5, and everyone else has to have a sense of urgency. In verse 35 it says, Jesus was going through all the cities and villages and teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom and healing every kind of disease and every kind of sickness. Seeing the people, he felt compassion on them, for them, because they were distressed and dispirited like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, the workers are few. Therefore, beseech the Lord of the harvest to send out workers into the harvest." So we see here in verse 35 that Jesus, he is going through all these cities, and he's kind of, what I'd like to say, he's kind of healing everybody, but he's taking this survey while he's preaching the kingdom. He's kind of taking the survey of this area, and he starts to notice what everybody is doing, how everybody's kind of feeling and everything. And it's kind of like taking this survey. And in the next verse, it says that he saw the people and he felt compassion on them because they were distressed and dispirited like sheep. How many people here have ever felt distressed or dispirited about something? Maybe sad or kind of discouraged or just kind of down. I felt like that. I felt like that today. I felt like that weeks ago. I will feel like that in the future. We all encounter this. We all feel this need of sometimes we feel dispirited. But the funny thing is like, I know all of us in this room are Christians. We have a hope, like Talon, and I think even Valerie mentioned it at one point. We have a hope to look forward to. How much more dispirited are the people that don't have the hope?
All right.
Good point.
How much more dispirited
Good
are the
point.
people that don't have the hope? That's a question I want to make you keep in mind. And in 37, he said to the disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Then, therefore, beseech the Lord of the harvest to send out workers into the harvest." The workers are few. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of us in this room. 13 of us. There are over 18,000 people in McDonough. And Michigan, no. Indiana. Probably more than 13,000 in Indiana. But there's more people than there is here. There are less workers here than there is the harvest. The main point here is that if there are less workers, but there's a large harvest, those less workers have to do more work and in less time. They have to do it in less time. They have to have a sense of urgency while working. And that's what I'm going to talk about, is having urgency with our compassion. Jesus had compassion on the people. We need to have compassion and urgency. All right, so, so let's go ahead and go to the next verse that I have prepared, is Colossians 4. Georgia Electric Power Company, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians. Anthony Buzzard.
Hey, good advertisement.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and read verses 2 through 6. Say amen when you're there. In Colossians 4, 2 through 6 says, "Devote yourselves to prayer, keeping alert in an attitude of thanksgiving, praying at the same time for us as well, that God will open us a door for the word, so that we might speak forth the mystery of Christ, for which I have also been imprisoned, that I may make it clear in the way I ought to speak. Conduct yourselves with wisdom towards outsiders, making the most of the opportunity, Let your speech always be with grace, as though seasoned with salt, so that you will know how you should respond to each person. I'm going to kind of go down through this. Devote yourselves to prayer, keeping in with alert and attitude of thanksgiving. The main point I want to get you out of this verse is keep alert. We have to be prepared to go to those people that need the compassion, that are part of the harvest. We have all these people that are part of the harvest. We have this urgency, like we did in hot potato. When we have this urgency when we were trying to get the chocolate bar, we need that whenever we go out into the world or we live our everyday lives with the people that don't have the hope that we have.
Amen.
Point number 2, no excuses. Praying at the same time for us as well, that God will open up a door for us so that the word, so that we may speak forth the mystery of Christ, for which I've also been imprisoned. There's no excuses. The door is open. There are people out there that need to be saved right now. There are people out there that do not have this hope that we have. There are people out there that need a compassion, that need an urgency for compassion. There are people out there that don't know what love is.
Amen.
That's right.
They don't know the love of the Lord. They don't know that they have hope. We have this urgency that we have to have when we approach people. Let's go ahead and go to verses 4 and 5. That I may make it clear in the way I ought to speak. Conduct yourselves with wisdom towards outsiders, making the most of that opportunity. Not only should we keep alert, not only is the door already open, but whenever we walk through the door or we meet the person that needs the compassion, we have to know how to treat them and how to speak to them and what to speak to them. We have to know the hope we have before we are able to share it with somebody else.
Amen.
I've ran into several instances where, I've been a baptized Christian since 2011, March 13th. Since then, I've gotten probably more opportunities to share the gospel than I probably could, but very little before this last couple of years at the Bible college did I know how to share it, or did I know what to share. Valerie made a really good point in her sermon earlier. This is preaching class. She made a really good point that 37 points is not what you tell a first person that you meet on the street that needs Jesus before you tell them your 37 or your 4 points. You tell them the gospel. The kingdom is coming, that Jesus will be there, will be coming, and he has already died and rose for you. That is absolutely an urgent message that we all have.
Yes.
We have to make sure we know that. We know what we're going to say about it. And in verse 6, let your speech always be with grace, as though seasoned with salt, so that you will know how you should respond to each person. Along with knowing what you're going to say and how you're going to say it comes a little bit of this compassion thing we read in Matthew 9. Sometimes it is difficult to have compassion on those that do not have the hope that we do. I'll give you an example. I have encountered people in my life, both family, friends, and strangers, that will put me down because they think I'm too much into this Jesus stuff. I've had somebody say that to me before. You're too much into this Jesus stuff. It took me everything in my whole mind and body not to say something bad in front of that person.
Wow.
Believe me, I thought it later. It's not good either. But I had to have enough salt at that time to be able to compose myself in a professional manner, not a professional manner, but a Christian manner, not to go off on that person.
Mhm.
Don't be arrogant about what you know. You're too much in this, Jesus. What are you talking about? Ah! And it could have turned out horrible for the person's faith. I know many Christians that burn people. And I know many people that have been burned by Christians because they think we're too arrogant about their faith.
Mm.
We have to be able to talk to people with compassion and salt. And with grace, as it says in verse 6. Why is there urgency? Well, let's go back to Matthew 9. Matthew 9 and verse 38. Therefore, beseech the Lord of the harvest to send out workers into the harvest. I found something really interesting about this passage today, that the word beseech actually is the word that is like sending out urgently. It is something that is urgent or immediate that you need to do right now. Right now, we need to go into the harvest. We need to go reap. We need to collect this. You know, I went to Virginia this summer, and I lived with a farmer for a week and a half. And actually, some of you might know him. His name's Chris Ramsey.
Mhm.
Awesome guy. Him and Pat are amazing people. And they had a really rainy season in Virginia this year. So with a really rainy season, you have to take the best of your opportunity. The door is open for whenever the what is it called? Hay is laid out. They already cut it down and it's laid out, but it had been raining for like 2 weeks. And there was 2 days where Chris didn't work with his company. He just had a farm because he had the opportunity to get the harvest in. He had the opportunity to bale the hay. And it made me realize that there's a sense of urgency when it comes to farming. And for a better lack of words, we're farming the world.
Amen.
We are the workers in few. There is a remnant left. There are many of us. As much as it seems the statistic or the percentage or the average Christian versus a secular person, the Christians are definitely outnumbered. We have to have this sense of urgency, and we have to understand that the door is already open for us to talk to people about what we know, and we have to do it in a way that won't turn them away from the hope we have.
Amen.
Let's go ahead and turn to 1 Thessalonians 5. You don't have to turn here, but I'm going to turn here. 1 Thessalonians 5. We're going to go ahead and read verses 1 and 2. Now as the times and the epochs, brethren, you have of no need of anything to be written to you. For you know yourselves, know full well that the day of the Lord will come like just like a thief in the night. The day of the Lord, Paul previously mentioned this in 4:16-17, where Jesus comes down out of heaven and the dead of Christ will rise. And this is, but we're learning here in 5:1 and 2 that this is going to be an event that we don't know when it happens.
Amen.
It's like a thief in the night. We don't know that we're going to get robbed. And if we do, hopefully we're going to be ready. And we're going to be urgent to get the thief out of our house. Right?
Amen.
As a little side note. We have this urgency because the thief in the night isn't just Jesus coming back. It isn't just him. Like, it's not just an illustration for me. It might not have been originally just an illustration, or it might have originally been an illustration for Jesus' return. But I also think it's a good illustration for how we can die any day.
Yes.
There are people in car wrecks. It doesn't matter if you're healthy or not. I mean, if you drive a car, it's kind of probable that you could die in a car wreck. You know? We don't know when we're going to leave and go to Sheol. We don't know when we're going to die, not leave, sorry. So we have this urgency about us. Every opportunity we have as a Christian, we are to share the hope we have. We have an urgency for compassion. The compassion is the hope we have. So I have a few tips that I want to share with you guys tonight. These are some tips that I created a long time ago and I get to use tonight. There's 5 of them, so if you want to write them down, or if you haven't been paying attention, this is when you need to start paying attention. So I'm going to go ahead with number 1. Start conversations with anyone and everyone.
All right.
The conversations that you have with anyone and everyone could lead to a friendship or a baptism. Start conversations with anyone and everyone. Mama said don't talk to strangers, right, Dr. Joe? She said don't talk to strangers. Of course, where Dr. Joe's from, there's not many strangers. Consider it.
Amen. That's true.
Not trying to pick on her. No. Don't talk to strangers. Talk to them. I'm telling you, I'm giving you permission as a Christian. If you're able to make your own choices in life, if you're over 18, I can't tell you everybody not to talk to strangers. They're not necessarily my kids, but start conversations about the hope we have with anyone and everyone. Number 2, share your testimony of Jesus changing your life. Look, there's one point in time where somebody had to talk to me about the hope. That somebody had to tell me and show me compassion. There was a point in my life where I went to church because it was the only place I got compassion. It was the only place that I really felt loved for only a time. I did, only a time. Share your testimony with others. Number 3, pray for those who don't know Jesus. In Colossians, it said, we are praying fervently. We need to pray. That is part of keeping alert. We pray. We make sure that we know what we're doing, but we're also praying because we're nothing without God. Prayer is how we connect with God, and He's the one that gives us the power to show compassion to others. Number 4. One of my gifts on tests and what people have told me is service. Now, I could serve people, I could wash their feet, I could cook for them, I could do a number of things for you. But if I don't do it with the intention of sharing you the hope I have with the gospel that I have, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
If I just serve you because I can serve you, that's great. So can the atheist down the street.
That's right.
So can the Buddhist down the street. We're Christians. We have a gospel, and whenever we serve people, we need to be intentional about serving them with the gospel also. Number 5. This one kind of goes with everything else, and hopefully you do everything else while you do this one. It kind of is an overlapping one, that's why it's at the end. Number 5. Invite people to your church. Hold. Invite people to your church. You've heard that one before, right? All right. I challenge you guys, everyone in this room, everyone in the video camera that has a church or that has some type of fellowship, invite 10 people to your church every week for 1 year.
All right.
That's a lot of people.
500.
Let's take it down. You invite 10 people, right? You invite 10 people. Only one comes out of those 10 people every week. One person comes every week out of those 520 people that you invite. That's 52 people out of your church in 1 year.
Amen.
That is only one person. You have 100 people in your congregation. Let's do the math. Talon, can you help me? Let's do the math. 52 people, or no, 52 weeks in a year, right? Okay, so one person, okay, sorry, I'm not
Yeah.
very good at formulating.
You have 5,200 people coming in.
5,200 people coming into your church. If everybody in your church, if a congregation of 100 people invited 10 people a week and only one came. I challenge you guys to invite 10 people to church every week for 1 year. That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
But think about all the people that you see every day. The store, your cash register, the people that you roll down your window and say, hey, can I let you over? Or can you let me over in traffic? The people that you meet at Starbucks, the people that you meet at Hobby Lobby, maybe Walmart, maybe on the street, maybe while you go running, maybe in the park. There are plenty of opportunities to invite people to church. Text this. Hey, my name is Jesse. I'd like you to come to my church. Wow. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. And you would give them the information of the church, where it is and what time it starts. Easy. These 5 things, I think, are extremely important for when having an urgency for compassion. There are people in this world that need compassion. I needed it. Everyone in this room needed it. And I believe that we all need to have this urgency whenever we see people and whenever we go out into the world. We have to have this idea that the gospel is first and that the urgency of the gospel takes precedence over everything else in our lives.
Amen.
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 Thank you.
Amen.